You're watching CHCO-TV's gavel-to-gavel coverage of the April 22nd, 2025 regular council meeting for the town of St. Andrews. I'm Vicki Hogarth. In today's meeting under Communications, council will review a request to light up Town Hall for the Fibromyalgia Association of Canada's Illumination Campaign. Under Planning and Community Development, Councillors Harland and Heenan will open a discussion on the amendment Z22-11 to the zoning bylaw. Under Public Works and Public Safety, Councillors Bennett and Neal will move that Council appoints Mike Shannon as Animal Control Officer. Under Economic Development, Business and Culture, Councillors Hurl and Weir will move that Council approves a request for sponsorship of $2,500 towards the 2025 Southwest New Brunswick Business Summit, taking place May 27th and 28th at the Algonquin Resort. Under Recreation and Environment, Councillors Gumichel and Blanchard will move to accept the resignation of Anne McKay from the Trail Advisory Committee and to reappoint Dr. David Johnson to the committee. Councillors Gumichel and Blanchard will also move to enter into agreement with the Board of the St. Andrews Sports Wall of Fame, once formed, with terms and conditions set by the Chief Administrative Officer. Additionally, Councillors Gumichel and Blanchard will move that Council signs on and supports the open letter for the Elbows Up for Climate initiative. Under Finance and Administration, Deputy Mayor Akaji will open a discussion on draft bylaw 25-04 regarding composition of council with a motion to approve the draft and to send it to the province of New Brunswick for review and consideration. Finally, Deputy Mayor Akaji will move that Council enter into 2 lease agreements for rental space at the Wellness Centre. Now let's join Council at the W.C. O'Neill Arena Complex Council Chambers in St. Andrews.
Okay, Council, we called together the Town of St. Andrews regular council meeting on Tuesday, April the 22nd, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the W.C. O'Neill Arena Complex Council Chambers. So the first thing is the recording of attendance. Everyone is here except for the mayor, who is away at this time, and Annette, who is away at this time. Annette, Councillor Harland. We recognize that we are on the unceded territory, traditional territory of the Beskotomakati people. We welcome you. Approval of the agenda. I need a mover and a seconder. Mover, Councillor Neal. Seconder, Councillor Blanchard. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Carried. Disclosure of a conflict of interest. Councillor Neal.
Your Worship, I will excuse myself for the last motion there, FA 250433.
Thank you very much, Councillor Neal. Anyone else? There are no presentations at tonight. There are no previous meeting minutes that we need to approve. So we come up to G, which is the request to light up the Town Hall for Fibromyalgia Association of Canada's Illumination Campaign. So in your packet, Council, there is, this year marks the 4th consecutive year that FAC is asking communities across Canada to light up for fibromyalgia on May the 12th, 2025. FAC would be honored if you could once again illuminate your buildings or landmarks in purple, hex code number 650A 8F, from dusk on May 12th to dawn on May 13th, 2025. By doing so, you will not only demonstrate your support for those affected by fibromyalgia, but also help raise awareness of this often overlooked condition. So, Council, I'll put it out to you to have discussion. Yes, Councillor Heenan?
Yes, Your Worship, I would support this.
Seeing there's no other discussion or opposition, then we will have a mover, right? No?
Your worship, you just need council consensus for this?
Okay, council consensus, so we do. All those that want it, just raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's everybody, so it's carried, I guess. All right. So that is, sorry, Flo. So that was the communications. Staff reports and financial reports. So introduction, consideration of passing the bylaws and motions. And the first one is the Planning and Community Development Committee, Councillor Harland and Councillor Heenan. So it's number 1, which is the discussion on Amendment Z22-11 to the zoning bylaw Z2201, PCD 250102. Councillor Heenan?
Yes, Your Worship. I had spoken with Mr. Knopper this afternoon, and this just becomes a discussion point. Am I correct, Mr. Knopper?
That is correct, Councillor Heenan, and Your Worship, we do have Planner Gopin online, if you would like to just brief council on his report.
Okay.
Mr. Gopin?
Mr. Gopin, could you brief the council on your report, please?
Sure.
Choices we have?
So after the last council meeting, there seemed to be a little bit of confusion around Z2211. And so hopefully my report clarified that a little bit. I think the initial wording that I had provided before PAC had given its views, and then council amended based on its views. My initial wording was that the material requirements only apply in the historic business district. That's consistent with the secondary municipal plan. It would mean that you're responding to the public feedback you've gotten. So I think, I'm hoping it's fairly straightforward and that there's consensus around the idea of moving forward with the original version of the bylaw rather than PAC's amended version, which would have the material requirements for fences and front and flankage yards throughout the entire town plat instead of just the historic business district.
Okay, council? Councillor Heenan or Councillor Blanchard? Councillor Blanchard?
All right, thank you, Worship. Thank you to Mr. Gopin for the report. I'm in favor of the option, the recommended option, which was reverting back to the original language, just so that what's covered are other properties within the historic business district. I think that brings us in line with the, as Mr. Gopin had mentioned, with the secondary municipal plan and the municipal plan. So I think that's a prudent move forward, and I would be in support of that.
Thank you, Councillor Blanchard. Councillor Heenan?
Yes, Your Worship. I actually echo Councillor Blanchard. I have a group of citizens who are very concerned in the area, in the town plat, who believe that it becomes a financial burden on people to cite what is going to be for a fence and also its upkeep. And I would be totally in support of Mr. Gopin's option. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Heenan. Anybody else? Councillor Hurdle, can't see you on the screen, so I'm just wondering if you have anything to say?
Well, don't give me the platform. I'll talk for 20 minutes. No, I'm okay. I agree with you.
I think we'll cut you off tonight. Okay.
Councillor Blanchard and Councillor Heenan's points summarize my opinion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anyone else here? No? Then we can go to the motion.
No, so
No?
your
So we're
worship,
gonna-
just the next phase
Oh,
will
right,
be,
we
we
need
will,
to-
no, we've got direction from council at this point to bring it forward with the renewed option, so we'll bring it forward at the next meeting with it reverted back to its original for second and proposed third readings.
Okay, so we don't have to do anything more with that?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Knopper. So, continuing on, Public Works and Public Safety Committee, Councilors Bennett and Neal. The appointment of Mike Shannon as the Animal Control Officer, PWPS 250418. Page 10.
Thank you, Your Worship. So again, this is PWPS 250418, the appointment of Mike Shannon as the Animal Control Officer. The background reads that the town of St. Andrews has a new agreement with Mike Shannon the current animal control officer, to expand the services to the wards of Bayside and Shamcook. As such, council needs to reappoint Mr. Shannon to encompass the new areas being patrolled and serviced for animal control. So the motion reads that the council of the town of St. Andrews appoints Mike Shannon as the animal control officer for the town of St. Andrews as of April 22nd, 2025, at a rate of $1,000 plus HST. And I so move, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Neal. Seconder, Councillor Bennett. Councillor Weir?
Yes, $1,000 per day.
Yeah.
We were just discussing per month.
Per month? Can that be a friendly amendment?
Maybe form a motion where it's a cash one
Okay.
for a formal amendment. So if Councillor Weir's okay to make that amendment.
Are you okay amending that, Councillor Weir?
Certainly.
Okay, and that we need a seconder. Councillor Heenan beat you just by a little bit. Councillor Bennett, so it's moved and seconded. So now we will vote on the amendment for the $1,000 a month. All those in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. And now we vote on the regular motion. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? It's carried unanimously. Thank you. All right. Yes? Sorry.
Just take a second, sorry, on this, what caused this motion to come forward was that the province of New Brunswick, through the SPCA, finalized their contract after the result of local government reform, and then asked all the municipalities to incorporate any new areas into their contract, and so that's why that motion was made.
Thank you for the clarification, Mr. Spear, sorry. All right. Economic and Development Business and Culture Committee, Councillors Hurdle and Weir, and it's the request for support for 2025 Business Summit, May 27th and 28th, 2025 in St. Andrews. EBC 250403 on page 11. Councillor Hurdle. Sorry.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is reference EBC 250403, submitted by myself, and the subject is the request for support 2025 Business Summit, May 27th to 28th, 2025 in St. Andrews. The background is that the town of St. Andrews has received a sponsorship request from the Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission for the 2025 Business Summit at the Algonquin Resort on May 27th to 28th, 2025. Please see the attached documents for information on the sponsorship request and the Business Summit. In 2024, Council supported the summit with a $2,500 silver sponsorship and provided the funds from the Tourism Accommodation Levy. Over 300 registrants and delegates are anticipated for the event, and room rentals will help refill the Tourism Accommodation Levy. The motion before us is that the Council of the Town of St. Andrews approves a sponsorship of $2,500 towards the 2025 Southwest New Brunswick Business Summit, May 27th to 28th at the Algonquin Resort, and I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Hurdle.
Your Worship, sorry, just before you jump into that, maybe we could ask for an amendment before you go by a seconder, just that it should be taken out of the tourism accommodation levy for the town of St. Andrews, as opposed to assistance grants, if Councillor Hurdle's okay with that recommendation.
Wait a minute. No,
Not
it
in the
says
motion. Not in the
provided by the
motion.
funds of the tourist accommodation levy. You want that taken out and changed to the,
No, the motion, the
Oh, the
background
motion.
did, the
Oh.
motion didn't, just to amend the motion to agree with the background.
okay, so we need
Sorry
to-
about that, Councillor Hurdle.
So, excuse me, you've
Result.
confused. What do we put in there?
I'll do it here. So it would be the Council of the Town of St. Andrews approves a sponsorship of $2,500 from the Tourism Accommodation Levy Fund towards the 2025 Southwest New Brunswick Business Summit, May 27th, 28th at the Algonquin Resort. And it was currently moved by Councillor Hurdle, if he's okay to continue with that.
Are you okay with that, Councillor Hurdle?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Now we need a seconder. Councillor Blanchard. Any further discussion, Council? Not seeing any. We'll move to the motion. All those in favor, say aye. Carried. All right. So the next one is Recreation and Environment Committee, Councilors Gomichelle and Blanchard. The first one is the appointment of the member to the Trail Advisory Committee, RE 250415.
Okay. Thank you, Your Worship. This one is reference number RE 250415, submitted by myself April 15th, and the subject is appointment of member to the Trail Advisory Committee. And the background reads, the St. Andrews Outdoor Recreation and Trails Incorporated is requesting to make a change to the representative member of the Trails Advisory Committee. Mrs. Ann Mackay has resigned from SORTI, and we thank her for her input to the Trail Advisory Committee. It has been requested that Dr. David Johnson be reappointed as the representative for SORTI. And the motion reads that the Council of the Town of St. Andrews accepts the resignation of Mrs. Ann Mackay from the Trail Advisory Committee as representative of the St. Andrews Outdoor Rec and Trails Incorporated. And I would make that motion, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Gomichelle. Seconder, Councillor Heenan. Any
And-
further discussion, Council? No? Therefore, we'll go to the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye, Your Worship.
Aye.
Carried unanimously.
And the second motion, Your Worship, reads that the Council of the Town of St. Andrews reappoints Dr. David Johnson to the Trail Advisory Committee as a representative of the St. Andrews Outdoor Rec and Trails Incorporated. I would make that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Gomichelle. We need a seconder. Councillor Bennett. All those in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Okay. Carried. Okay, so those are done. All right.
Would you like to do the next one,
The
Councillor?
third one, yeah, report to the elbows up
Okay,
for
sorry.
climate.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. The next motion is reference number RE 250416, submitted by myself April 16th, 2025, and the subject is request for use of the W.C. O'Neill lobby space for St. Andrews Sports Wall of Fame. And the extensive background reads, the Town of St. Andrews has received a request from Brad Henderson regarding a proposed St. Andrews Sports Wall of Fame. Please see the attached document for more details. The concept proposed is the following. 1. Use of the W.C. O'Neill lobby for W.C. O'Neill Arena lobby for the development of a sports wall of fame. Secondly, host an annual induction ceremony and dinner at the arena to acknowledge one athlete, one team, and one builder. Thirdly, funds raised from the dinner to cover the cost of the tribute plaque for inductees on the wall and a take-home piece. And fourthly, any additional profits raised would be donated to local youth sports teams. The benefits to the town include firstly, improved look and feel of the W.C. O'Neill Arena lobby. Secondly, increase in civic pride and sports history. Celebration of community members and past and present. Potential overnight stays in our community from family, friends, and former residents. Potential funds to help youth sports teams in the area. And finally, no annual financial ask from the town. So the motion reads that the Council of the Town of St. Andrews enter an agreement with the Board of the St. Andrews Sports Wall of Fame, once formed, with terms and conditions set by the CAO, including 1. Use of designated space in the W.C. O'Neill Arena Complex lobby for the Sports Wall of Fame. Secondly, annual fee rental of the dining room and kitchen for the Sports Wall of Fame dinner. And finally, support from the town to install gallery lighting for Sports Wall of Fame. And I would make that motion, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gomichelle. Seconder? Councillor Hurdle. Any further discussion, Council? Not seeing any. Thanks, Mayor, while you're out that you did that, but all the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Counter-minded? None, so carried unanimously. All right. And now it's the request to support initiative Elbows Up for Climate. And are you doing that?
I'll take this one. That's all right,
Blanchard?
Your Worship. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. So reference number RE 250417. Subject is request to support initiative Elbows Up for Climate. The background is the Town of St. Andrews has been requested to sign an open letter Supporting the initiative Elbows Up for Climate, the organization is seeking to propose 5 bold and achievable ideas that the next federal government can implement, including create a national east-west-north clean electric grid, build a national high-speed rail network, build at least 2 million non-market energy-efficient homes, make our homes and buildings warm in winter, cooler in summer with retrofits, fund a national resilience, response, and recovery strategy to tariffs. More than 120 mayors, councillors, and other elected leaders from across Canada are uniting and have signed onto this open letter. If council supports this initiative, the town of St. Andrews can be added to the initiative. And the motion is that the council of the town of St. Andrews signs on and supports the open letter on the initiative Elbows Up for the Climate, and I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Blanchard. Seconder, Councillor Gomichel. More discussion, council? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried. Now, because I'm in the chair, Councillor Heenan has graciously accepted to do my my portfolio. So, Finance and Administration Committee, FA 250432. Discussion on the bylaw number 25-04, composition of the council. Councillor Heenan, thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you for taking my spot.
This is reference FA 250432, submitted by Deputy Mayor Akaji. Discussion on bylaw number 25-04, composition of council. As we approach the next municipal election in May of 2026, council has the opportunity to review and change its composition of council. The current composition of council is one mayor at large, 1 councillor from the ward of Bayside, 2 councillors from the ward of Shamcook, 6 councillors from the ward of St. Andrews. After a review of council composition from across New Brunswick, it has been noted that council may be over-indexed on the number of councillors to residents. Currently, the town has the same number of councillors as the City of St. John and the municipality of Grand Manan. The Department of Environment and Local Government is open to changing the composition based on what council would like it to set as. Staff are proposing the following. 1 mayor at large, 1 councillor from the ward of Bayside, 1 councillor from the ward of Shamcook, 4 councillors from the ward of St. Andrews. This would move the composition of council to an estimated 1 councillor for every 550 residents in the municipality. Additionally, the reduction of councillors would save the taxpayers approximately $40,000 to $50,000 per year in council-related expenses. If council is satisfied with the draft composition of council, you can move to first reading. Note, council does not need to set a public hearing of objections for this bylaw, as it is a council's decision on the composition. Council can set a date if they so choose. And the action motion is...
Hold on, Your Worship, just 1 second. Just a comment here, so please, if you can consult your first part of the agenda, due to the documentation that was provided after the report was created. The report actually has to go to the province first, or the draft bylaw has to go to the province first for review before it can come back. So, Councillor Heenan, can you read the motion on page 3 at the top?
Page 3. Just a moment, please, sir.
At the beginning of your agenda. At the top, it'll be that one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the motion is that the council of the town of St. Andrews approves the draft bylaw number 25-04, a bylaw regulating the composition of council of the town of St. Andrews to be sent to the province of New Brunswick for review and consideration. I so move.
And the seconder, Councillor Neal. Any more discussion, since we have to move it to there? We just vote to move it there?
So, yes, so the process would be outlined that we got from the provincial government is council will decide on an idea of a composition that they would like to proceed with. Then that has to be forwarded to the province for review. The province will send it back with their thoughts on the composition. If they are satisfied with it, then it could go through the bylaw readings as per normal, unless the province comes back and suggests something different. But we have to start somewhere, and this is the process they would like us to use.
Thank you, Mr. Knopper, for the clarification. Any further, Councillor Weir?
Yes, I'm just trying to see we don't put the horse before the cart. So we send it to them, we imply that's what we want. And then it comes back to us to
Yes.
actually enact it.
Correct.
So when do we have our discussion on it? After we've basically told the province what we want, or
At any,
prior to it
it'd be
going
best
to
to
the
have
province?
it prior to going to the province,
Yeah.
for
So
So
sure.
it'd be now if you want to have that
Yeah,
discussion.
either now or give us direction on how you'd like to proceed.
So, Councillor Weir, do you have further discussion? Did you want to, any further discussion on this right now, before it goes
Well, yeah,
to
Councillor Ware, I
province?
mean, we've had discussions about this in the past, so
Yeah.
we know there might have been some disagreements a little bit. We had to put something on the table, but you're right, if we send this to the province, the thought is that council already agrees with this, I'm assuming. It just came out late last week, so I never had the chance to ask them what if they changed their mind in between, what that means, but it probably just means you have to restart the process, that if you decide you don't like it, send it back, but it'd be best to treat this as kind of getting ready for the first reading. So if you want to have some type of process or further discuss, just let us know. We just, have touched on this over the last few weeks, and we're going to bring it forward. So whatever you'd like to do for consultation or further discussion at the council table, we're perfectly fine with that. We just need to know the direction of council at your pace.
Yeah, and through you, your worship, if council wants, you have the right to table if you want to have further, deeper discussions, but advise to have discussions to start here, and if there's direction from that, we can
Okay.
adjust the motion as is.
Anybody else have, other than Councillor Weir? Councillor Heenan?
Yes, Your Worship. I do believe I recollect that we did do some of the discussion on this during one of our work sessions. I do believe that it's important that we pare down our council, because as cited in this document, we have the same number of councillors as the City of St. John. I believe that paring down the amount of councillors on council will make us more streamlined and much easier to be a council than it does when you have the larger amount. It's just that it requires a long time to go around the table for different questions. But I do believe with financial restraints that we are all facing, I think it's a very important decision. And also, I mean, to have be resident representative for 550 persons is not out of the realm of possibilities or the realm of thinking. So I would at this time, I mean, considering the fact that we've had 2 or 3 weeks to think about this, I would be more than happy to second this motion should it come up. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Heenan. Councillor Weir, do you have anything else? Councillor Blanchard?
Yeah.
Oh, Councillor Weir, sorry.
Yeah, I just find it awkward, maybe is the word, to send a bylaw to the province. We did discuss it at a work session. We've never discussed it in an open council meeting that the residents could hear and participate if they wanted. I don't have a problem with it. It's just the optics of sending a bylaw off without a formal motion or anything by council, that this is what we would like to proceed with as a bylaw. So, again, optics maybe more than anything.
Thank you, Councillor Weir. Councillor Blanchard?
Sure, thanks. And I think Mr. Spear was probably going to answer or go where I was going to go. This is still going to come back to us for first, second, and third reading. This is sort of what would be almost what would be sort of what staff would normally prepare for us to have at a first reading. So it'll be open for debate and discussion once we take it to first and second and third, correct? Is that?
That's correct, I think.
It is, and I mean, it's a new process for sure, because of the local government reform. Otherwise, council would have a wee bit more control. But really, it's just this first step is the new one. But again, if council wants to do some type of consultation to give residents a time to write in over the next, we could bring it to the maybe second meeting in May, if council wishes. I mean, that'd have to be the direction of you folks. I'm assuming they're going to anticipate that even if they approve it, that it could change. Otherwise, they'd want us to go through the 3 readings and send it to them, and then they will kind of give a thing. So they're just trying to make sure everyone's staying somewhat realistic. But if you think there's up for further debate on it, if you're not comfortable with it, then we can have some type of workaround or consultation. We just need direction from the council as a whole, what you'd like the next step to be. If you're comfortable with this, great. If you think there needs to be further discussion or consultation, great. We just need to know what you'd like to do for next steps.
Thank you, Mr. Spear. Councillor Hurdle? Any thoughts? He's frozen. Oh, no, he's not frozen. Oh, sorry, Councillor Blanchard.
Just trying to get.
Sorry, Councillor Blanchard wasn't finished.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Sorry, no, I just to follow up, I'm comfortable with where we are with this. We've had the discussion. The numbers in front of us, I think, make sense in terms, when you look at where we are now and population per council member, we are definitely on the very low side compared to most other municipalities in the province. And the proposed changes, I think, brings us a little more in line. And so I'm quite comfortable with where we are as proposed, and would be good going forward with that.
Thank you, Councillor Blanchard. Councillor Hurdle? Sorry to interrupt you.
No, yeah, thank you. I agree with the comments at this point. Again, I think that what's proposed is what we had initially as well. Again, things I'm worried about, my thought process on it, I guess, was that it does mean less democracy in a certain point, less people represent, more people being represented by fewer people, but can't have everybody on council. So there's a balance between the cost versus the benefit. And I think since this is how we started out the game, it makes sense to continue on that way.
Thank you, Councillor Hurdle. Councillor Gumshaw, any comments? No, I'm asking, are there any more comments? Are you okay with this? No? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Councillor Heenan? You're okay with it?
I'm all right, thank you,
Yeah.
Your Worship.
Councillor Bennett?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm good, thanks.
Councillor Neal? Thank you. Because I'm in the chair, I can't make a comment, so you have direction?
You have a motion on the table.
Oh,
You
sorry.
have a mover and a seconder?
So we need a mover and a
No,
seconder?
you have a
We
mover and a
the
seconder.
mover.
Yes.
Right.
You can call for the
So
vote.
call for the question?
Yeah.
All those in favor to sending this to province and getting it back, say aye. Contrary minded? Carried. All right. You have to be excused, right? Okay. And Councillor Heenan, you're carrying on in my stead for FA. Just give Councillor Neal a few minutes to get out. Thank you. FA 250433, the lease agreements between the Town of St. Andrews and the physiotherapist and athletic therapist at the Wellness Center. It's all yours, Councillor Heenan.
Your Worship, just due to oversight at the office staff, we thought we'd sent the copies with the packages last week, and then realized they never seemed to make it into the packages.
That's
So I know council's only had this afternoon to have a look at them. So I did know if you wanted to table this until next meeting, and you can do that now. We would like to go to close, though, to discuss them a little bit, or if you're comfortable in proceeding. There's not a high level of urgency.
Table or no table? Councillor
Your
Bennett?
Worship, I move to table this motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
I need a seconder then for that, correct? Councillor Gummichel is in favor of seconding it. So, all those in favor of tabling this, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. So could you get Councillor Neal back? Thank you. Just to let you know, Counselor Neal, it's been tabled for the next meeting. Because the information, you'll have to excuse yourself again. Okay, so we're carrying on. New business, there is no new business. Question period. Are there any questions from the people in the audience? Mrs. Sims?
Susan Sims.
Thank
My
you.
questions are pertaining to Mike Shannon, the Animal Control Officer. Councilor O'Neill mentioned that he patrols. Does he actually patrol?
Counselor Neal, she's asking you.
I'm going to throw that over to staff. I'm not sure how often he's actually out.
He typically responds to incidences as per contract. The cost of patrolling is high. But that's kind of the level of service right across the province, unless you hire someone on staff to do that.
Right, he just said he patrols.
Responds to
So I just
incidents,
wanted to make
yeah.
sure that he wasn't actually patrolling.
No,
He is
he's
responding
responding.
to actual calls
Correct.
only. And I was wondering, how many calls did he answer last year?
Top of my head, it's hard to answer. Four.
4. So he was paid $12,000 and he responded to 4 calls.
Not last year. That's
not
just so you
last
know,
year.
that's the new rate,
That's-
and at an expanded area.
Okay, what was the old rate?
But $5,000 for the year.
$5,000 when he had just St. Andrews, and now it's $1,000? You mean for the year?
Yeah.
5,000 for the year, yeah. And
So now it's
up to
12,000.
yeah.
So it more than doubled.
Yep.
Okay.
But just for clarity, we are required to have that in place per the province. You know, yeah,
wanted
no, just.
clarification, that's all.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, thank you.
And doing it with the SPCA or the other group is much more expensive, so just give you background. All right, any other questions from the audience? No? So,
And no questions
no
online.
questions from online, so question period is over. Councillors and deputy mayor's comments? No comment? Sorry, Councillor Ware?
I'll start with a couple comments. Number one, I guess we're going to go to the closed session at the next meeting with respect to the leases, and
I'd like to go for a couple of minutes, yes, but I'd like to go tonight too, because they just
That's
came.
what I wondered, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be times two
yeah.
if needed.
The other thing is, and the CAO is probably aware of this, the bears are out of hibernation, and they arrived at the dumpster on Monday night last week and dragged everything up through the woods, but through quick action, Mr. Tuddenham did take the dumpster out, bring it back on today get back on the summer schedule, I'm hoping. However, on Sunday night, the bears, or bear, we don't know, arrived back, and the first house on the left-hand side going in is a very strong wooden box made of 1-inch lumber. And I have pictures of it, completely demolished it and took all the garbage back through the woods and everything again. So that was the same resident that had a problem with the Tuesday schedule for the simple reason she works and she leaves before the dumpster arrives, and she doesn't get home until the dumpster has been taken away, and that was why she managed to get a nice sturdy wooden box, which I was there early Monday morning and it was just splinters. So just a comment that it is a problem, will continue to be a problem for anybody that's using wooden boxes and other than a metal box. I don't know what they would do with one of those plastic garbage bins, but we may have a problem again. We have a mess to clean up now, and I'll try to get a group to do that, and if the rain stops, I may go over and redo the box myself and get her back in same shape she was as far as garbage disposal, because she does live there alone. So, but that's my comments on the bears. So,
Thank you, Councillor Weir. Councillor Bennett?
Thank you, Your Worship, Council, and thank you, Councillor Weir, for reminding all of us that live rural to, watch out for our garbage, because 'tis the season, right? I would like to comment on what your point there. We have a resident on Dock Road. Dock Road is a road that goes from the Glebe down to Cunningham Beach. Right on that corner, there's a resident who has been struggling with bear problems since I moved in, and quite often the garbage is everywhere around the neighborhood, around his garbage bins. And the poor guy has tried everything to keep the bears at bay. Last summer, at the beginning of the summer, he did put in a metal garbage can. It looks like one of those like plastic deck boxes that you can get from Costco, except it's metal. It does have a label on it. I haven't stopped to look at the name on it, but so far it looks like that's gone unscathed from the bears' advances on trying to get into it. So for your resident who's struggling there, they might want to take a drive down the Glebe and look at that metal box and possibly buy one, because it looks like that's doing the trick for that guy on Dock Road. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Councillor Bennett, for the
thank you very
information.
much. I will take that drive.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. So there's comments. We are moving to closed session now. So the recommended motion at 7:10 p.m. Council moves into closed session per the Local Governance Act, Section 68(1)(c), information that could cause financial loss or gain to a person or the local government or could jeopardize negotiations leading to an agreement or contract, and Section 68(1)(d), the proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land. I need a mover. Councillor Bennett, and a seconder. Councillor Neal. All those in favor? Aye. So we'll move into closed session, give everybody time to get ready for closed session.